All right. Hi, everyone. GM. Hope you're doing great here in Paris. First, we start with a question. Who here likes cinema? All right. A lot of you. Okay, great. So I have both bad news and good news. We'll start with the bad news. Is okay. It's not working. We'll just do it here. There you go. The bad news is that cinema is the most centralized art form in the world. It's very expensive, and that makes it very centralized. The decisions about which movies get made and which don't are taken by a handful of corporations in the United States, and here in Europe, a handful of government bodies and public TV committees. This creates a very inefficient market where many amazing movies never get made, and many movies that nobody really wants to watch do get made. Um, but the good news is that Web3 has the power to change that. Um, we can use NFTs in order to empower filmmakers by empowering audiences. And if I can leave you with just one thought today, that would be it. It's the importance of digital ownership in order to empower audiences so that through that we can empower filmmakers. What this means is that if we can use audiences to tell us what they want to watch, then we can have films that are more suited for what audiences want to see, and then hopefully creators that weren't able to make their movies before are now able because they find a fit in the market, enough people who want to watch their movies that it makes it possible. Um, Let me show you how we've been doing that for over a year now with my project Calladita, which is the first European movie ever to be entirely funded by NFTs. And I'll tell you a bit how we did that and how it can present a potential case study for the future of independent cinema. Calladita started as a short film that I made in 2019 that was about a domestic worker from Latin America working for a rich family in Spain. And it's kind of a social satire in that environment of very stark class differences. The short film did quite well in festivals internationally. It won a few awards, and it ended up being acquired for streaming by HBO for the US. And when that happened, or around the time I was finishing the short film, I started developing this project into my first feature film. So I started writing the script, and I wanted this story to be my first feature film. That process started very well. We got an amazing cast attached, and the screenplay itself got selected into a few very prestigious development programs that supported the project. But once we got to the stage of financing, then it all crumbled. We tried to finance the movie with the traditional methods that a Spanish indie movie would get financed, which are mostly public. And we experienced firsthand these inefficiencies of the system that I was talking about. We got rejected in the very few avenues that exist, actually. They all rejected the project, and so I was left with the hard choice of like, what the market was telling me is that this movie doesn't deserve to exist. The market isn't interested in it, so just move on to the next project. You know, this movie is not gonna exist ever. Just move on. Obviously, I didn't want to do that. I didn't agree with that view that people didn't want to watch this movie and the movie didn't deserve to exist. And luckily, I had discovered NFTs recently. This was around April 2021. And I thought, hey, I mean, maybe we can innovate and find a way to crowdfund through Web3 and develop a new system to fund independent movies. That was a very crazy idea at the time. Nobody had done this. But we started working on it and saw that that dream might be possible. What we did basically is take the original short film and splice it up into still frames and create a collection of NFTs on Ethereum that were still frames of the movie, of the short film, sorry, and say that 100% of the proceeds would go straight into funding the feature film. The system actually is quite similar to what you would expect in a traditional crowdfunding, where there were different tiers that offered different levels of utility, of ascending price and rarity. And for example, if people minted the basic tier, they got the NFT, and they also got a thank you in the credits and a link to watch the movie when we finish it. And then in the highest tiers, for example, we would offer producer credits to people supporting at a higher level, or an invite to the set to come experience firsthand the making of the movie. We sold out on all the highest tiers pretty quickly, and it did pretty well. Oh, and also one other thing that we did for our collectors was offer them to put their artwork in the movie if they were bigger spenders. And that's a very cool thing about the movie. It's filled with NFT references and Easter eggs. And I think DJs are really gonna love it. These are just some renders of some artwork that we put in the movie. Um, well, it went very well. We raised over $800,000 and made the movie in September. These are some stills of us behind the scenes filming the movie in Spain. And it actually became this first European movie to be funded this way, and our crazy dream became a reality. Right now, we are finishing the movie. We are in the last stages of post-production and hoping to have it ready by the second half of the year to premiere at a festival internationally. And it's been a crazy journey and a crazy ride. The biggest thing is that we're super thankful to our community of holders. So I was saying at the beginning, most movies exist because a handful of people turned the switch and decided that they deserve to exist and greenlit them, as we say in the industry. Calladita, my movie, didn't get that green light from a handful of people. The traditional market started by rejecting it, but now we got greenlit by 500 DJs on the internet. And to me, that's a lot more powerful because it means that audiences really connect with this story and they want to watch it, and they're ready to even put their money where their mouth is and support this with their ETH so that it gets made. So whereas most movies get born with no support whatsoever, Calladita is born with a community of 500 die-hard fans who want to see it succeed and are invested in that success. This is just a few. This is not gonna work. We just had a few slides about our amazing community of holders, very big names in the space of collectors and builders that I am very proud to call members of our community. Especially, I'm very thankful and proud of of the artists that we have in our community, like Claire Silver, who was just talking here, and Justin Aversano or Snowfro, who, as an artist myself, I'm very grateful that fellow artists that I admire would support my project. But there's a bunch of punks here, so if you're a Bored Ape, don't worry because we got a bunch of those as well. So Bored Apes are also cinephiles. And the roadmap from the start was very simple, and I think that was very important for the project to connect with people. I always said the roadmap is the movie. You don't have to make any complicated calculations about what we're gonna do with your ETH. 100% of it is going to be put into the movie budget, and we're just gonna make a movie that hopefully our holders will be proud of, and that's it. That's the roadmap, and we are 90% the way there. So very very happy and to have done that with our community. And then there's a second part of the roadmap that's very important, which is the Calladita DAO, which we're gonna be launching soon. And basically, this gets a bit legally complicated, but in order just to summarize, basically, we cannot offer direct revenue shares to our NFT holders in the movie because that would turn our NFTs into securities, and that's illegal to then offer them publicly, basically. So what we found as a workaround to that, consulting with many lawyers, etc., is the Calladita DAO, which is a DAO that we're going to be setting up soon that will own 50% of the movie in perpetuity. 50% of all of the revenues that the movie gets will be put into this community treasury that will be owned and governed by our NFT holders. And that is the way that they can participate in the success of the movie. And hopefully, if the movie does well, then this DAO will accrue a treasury and then become an active participant in the Film 3 movement, as we call it, to help foster this movement of decentralized cinema by, providing grants or investing in new movies that are funded this way, etc. And the movie is not even finished yet, and we already won our first award, so that was amazing. Recently at the Sundance Film Festival, Steven Soderbergh, who is the director of many films that you all know and love, like Ocean's 11 or Sex, Lies, and Videotapes, he gave us an award for 100K for finishing funds, and now has become an exec producer in the movie. So we're very happy to have him and excited for the future of both Calladita and decentralized cinema in general. And I didn't want to leave you without talking briefly about the wider Film 3 ecosystem. These are just some of the key players in that movement, but there are many others. There are many people out there who believe in this idea that I talked today about decentralizing cinema using the blockchain. And there's a few movies that are using similar, you know, processes. Then there's a few DAOs as well. The best community that I would recommend everyone who is interested in this join is the NFT Film Squad, which is kind of like a community that joins us all together who are building in this niche of the space. And a few others. Out here in the other section is Movie Shots, who are around here in the audience. They're an awesome project out of Germany who are basically putting legacy movies that already exist and are famous into the blockchain in a similar fashion to what we did with Calladita, minting still frames of the movie. But they do that with famous movies like Laurel and Hardy comedies and things like that. And it's really exciting. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. And they tell me I have to stop, so thank you and have a good day.